Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by green hills, there lived a young boy named Arjun. He wasn't the fastest runner in school, not the smartest in class, and certainly not the most popular. But Arjun had a habit that quietly stole his happiness. He constantly compared himself with others. When he saw his friend Ravi win a race, he would sigh, "I wish I could run like him." When Mira topped the exams, he would think, "I'll never be as smart as her." When someone played music beautifully, he'd whisper to himself, "If only I had that talent." The more he compared, the smaller he felt. He stopped participating in competitions, stopped sharing his ideas, and slowly withdrew into silence. Every day, he would look in the mirror and see not who he was, but who he wasn't. One afternoon, tired of feeling miserable, Arjun wandered into the nearby forest to clear his thoughts. He walked aimlessly until he reached a small hut by a river. Outside sat an old sage, peaceful and calm, with eyes that carried the wisdom of 1,000 sunsets. The sage smiled as Arjun approached. "What troubles you, my child?" he asked gently. Arjun hesitated but finally said, "Master, I feel lost. Everyone around me is better, smarter, faster, stronger. No matter how hard I try, I'm never enough." The sage nodded thoughtfully. Then he walked inside his hut and returned holding 3 seeds, one of a rose, one of a banyan tree, and one of grass. "Take these," said the sage, handing the seeds to Arjun. "Plant them in your garden and take care of them. Come back to me after 1 month." Confused but curious, Arjun did as told. He planted the seeds and watered them every morning. After a few days, he saw the grass sprouting, green and lively. A week later, a small rose plant began to grow, its thorns sharp but its buds beautiful. But the banyan seed showed nothing. Days turned into weeks, and still, there was no sign of life from the banyan. When the month ended, Arjun returned to the sage. "Master," he said, "the grass has grown quickly and covered the ground. The rose plant has bloomed beautifully. But the banyan seed has not grown at all. Maybe it's useless." The sage smiled knowingly. "Ah, Arjun. Do you really think the banyan is useless just because it grows slower?" Arjun looked down, embarrassed. "Maybe it just needs more time." "Exactly," the sage said, eyes shining. "The grass grows fast, but it withers just as fast. The rose grows slower, but it gives beauty and fragrance to the world. And the banyan takes the longest of all. It spends years growing roots underground before it rises to become a tree that can shelter hundreds beneath its shade." He placed his hand on Arjun's shoulder and continued. "You see, each of them grows in their own time, in their own way. If the banyan compared itself to the grass, it would feel like a failure. But the grass can never grow into a mighty tree." For the first time, he understood. Days passed, and Arjun started noticing how different people bloomed in different seasons of life. Some of his friends got early success, while others took time to find their purpose. He realized that just because his journey was slower didn't mean it was meaningless. He had his own time, his own rhythm. Years later, Arjun grew up to become a compassionate teacher in his village. He encouraged his students not to compare their lives with others, but to focus on their own growth, just as the sage had taught him. He would often take his students to that same riverside hut and tell them the story of the rose, the grass, and the banyan tree. One day, one of his students, a young girl named Nina, came to him crying. "Sir, I feel like I'm not good enough. Everyone else is better than me." Arjun smiled, just as the sage once had. He gave her 3 seeds and said, "Plant these and come back after a month. They'll teach you what I cannot." When she left, Arjun looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, Master. Your lesson lives on."